Hello and welcome to another episode of a Runnin Thought podcast, coming to you all the way from the middle of the Pacific Ocean on top of a volcano. I got it wrong today. What am I going to do? So it's good to be back. And I actually made notes this time so that I can be slightly coherent. Just disclaimer alert, and kids, don't follow my example, but I did get to go running today, and I had a nice big steak and some asparagus and a couple of New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPAs. So I may be a little bit more like loose and whatever. But yeah, so I made notes of a couple things to go over on this podcast. I don't know why I'm mentioning all this now. I think it would be a lot better, a lot smoother if I were to just not mention that. But anyways, so thanks for tuning in again. I hope that your week is going good. Not to bring up a sore subject, but it seems like COVID vaccines are rolling out, and fingers crossed, hopefully things are going to start getting better from here on in. But yeah, so at any rate, hope everybody's week is going good. I know I already said that, but I'll just repeat it again. And hopefully you're having a pleasant weekend. So let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and start with the events coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this stuff because I pulled it up way earlier today. So on ultrasignup.com, it looks like the same stuff that I've been announcing the last couple of podcasts, but at any rate, the Go Big 260 miler is going to be Saturday, December 26, 2020. That's Hilo. Go Big 100 miler and 50K also listed as Saturday, December 26, 2020, but you may want to check their website just to make sure on those starting dates for both of those events, the 260 miler and the 100 miler and 50K. Actually, 3 different events there. But the Go Big 100 miler 50K also Hilo. New Year's Cheers is a 6-hour 5K and 3-hour. That's going to be Saturday, January 23rd, 2021, and that's in Volcano. The Bacoa Spring Fling 50K 100 miler. That's Saturday, February 20th, 2021, and that's in Ninole. And then Under the Moon, 200K, 100K, 50K. That's going to be Saturday, June 26, 2021 in Hilo. And then moving over to Hawaii Running Labs. Again, I can't say enough about HRL. Matter of fact, I was wearing one of their shirts today on my run. Whenever I go up to a volcano and I'm going to be kind of proximal to the visitor center, I usually wear a shirt just because I think it's the proper thing to do. There's people that are coming from all around the world, and I don't think they really came here to see my naked upper torso. So I usually wear a shirt up around there, and then if it's going to be cold or if it's going to be excessively sunny, I will wear a shirt. And the shirt that I choose to always wear is the HRL New Balance short sleeve top, white. And mine are all, I think I've got 3 or 4 of them. Mine are all like scratched and dirty and nasty looking, but I wash them. They don't stink, but they are my Runnin shirts, and so I've got 3 or 4 of them, and they all look very horrible, but I wear them all the time, and they're good to go. I wouldn't wear anything else. Anyway, I digress. So events coming up for HRL, there's the Mele Kamikimaka Marathon, 5K and 10K, and then the Winter Challenge, 30K, 50K, and 50 mile. all of those events are virtual. You can go to hawaiirunninglab.com and look under events to see more details on those. So if you're interested in that, please do sign up. And then if you need actual good advice, Dr. Michael Garrison is expert. I've paid for his advice in the past, and hey, man, it totally worked for me. Of course, results may vary. He's not a sponsor. I'm not, but I am endorsing him. I think that he's got a good thing going. So check out hawaiirunninglab.com. Moving on, runningtheusa.com has some events listed that weren't on Ultra Sign Up. So December 20th, 2020, Jingle Bell Beach Run. That's a 5K. That's going to be in Kailua Kona. The Hilo to Volcano Ultra and Relay. The actual, I guess, physical, not, how do I word this? The everybody get together and run at once and, end at Volcano and get a medal and all that stuff. That's canceled. There's a virtual event, 50K run and 50K relay, and you can look at their website. That's Hilo to Volcano Ultra and Relay. Check out their website for more information, but it's all virtual for this year. And that's going to be on January 9th, 2021. Look for more details. I'm not sure what the date range is now that it is virtual, but that's Hilo, Hawaii. And I don't know if how it works with virtual, if you just run 30 or 50K, or if you have to run it from Hilo to Volcano. I would think you would have to run it from Hilo to Volcano, but anyways. March 14th, 2021, the Big Island International Marathon. That's a full marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, and a 2-mile run. And that's going to be Hilo. June 5th, 2021, the Ironman. That's, I'm not interested in competing in that, but some of you may be, or you may be interested in spectating. That's going to be June 5th, 2021. Of course, that's in Waimea, Hawaii. June 27th, 2021, Kona Marathon. That's a full marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K run. Kailua Kona, of course, is the starting place for that. And I think that's about as far as I'll go on this particular list. Looking at runguides.com, Kona Brewers Festival, Run for Hops. That is Kailua Kona, and that's going to be on March 13th, 2021. Big Island International Marathon, March 14th, 2021. That's going to be in Hilo, Hawaii. The Hapalua, Hawaii's Half Marathon, that's in Waimea. That's going to be April 11th, 2021. Volcanoes Ohia Lehua Half Marathon, April 2021, to be determined. The exact date to be determined, but that's trail, 5K, and half marathon. Kona Marathon, again, I think I already read that, but that's June 2021, to be determined. Date to be determined. Of course, it's in Kona. The Ka'u Coffee Trail Runs, again, I highly recommend this. 5 stars, must do if you're in Hawaii or if you live in Hawaii. September 2021, exact date to be determined. I think I'm going to be there for this one. I missed it last year, and I think I missed it the year before, but I've run it several times, and I super duper like that course and have a lot of fun doing that one. So Ka'u Coffee Trail Run, that's going to be determined, September 2021, Pahala, Hawaii. That's a trail, 5K, 10K, and half marathon. I recommend sign up for the half marathon and just, go for it. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. And I think that's all the events that I wanted to read off. So let me just close all those windows. Um, and then let me consult my notes. So yeah, my knee hurts. Um, Ever since I fell a couple weeks ago, um, my knee has been really bothering me. I had some pre-existing injuries and knee pain in my left knee forever, basically. And they had, for the most part, subsided. It would still pop up every now and then, but ever since that fall, um, I've been having knee pain, and then I have been having some calf pain as well. But the knee is quite different from the calf pain. And so I actually didn't make notes about this, but I wanted to talk about clotting, DVT. I got to Google this thing. So, yeah, to get back to my original thought, my knee's been hurting, and I think it was definitely from that fall a couple of weeks ago. And it may be partially attributable to the shoes I've been wearing. I've been wearing Ultra Olympus, and I forgot if they were 3.0s or 3.5s, but they are kind of worn out. So it's weird to think that max cushion shoes could wear out, but I mean, I guess apparently the cushioning, the foam in even max cushion shoes eventually compresses so much that it just becomes hard. There's no spring in it anymore, and so it basically just becomes an unstable, hard mass. And then I notice on the bottom, the wear patterns on the bottom of the current pair that I have. I think it's the left foot that's worn way further down than the right. So I do believe that one of my legs is shorter than the other, and apparently, like I'm really scraping the ground with my left foot. So it's good to look at that kind of thing on the shoes that you got. That can tell you a lot about how you're pronating or where your foot's striking the ground. Just looking at the wear pattern from your shoes. I think the current pair of shoes that I've been wearing, I probably got about 500 miles on them, so they're well worn, and you can tell, exactly where my foot's hitting the ground. So it's good to look at those. I don't know exactly what you're gonna do with all that information, but you can kind of see if you're over pronating or under pronating. But for today's run, I actually used an old pair of King MTs or King Mountains, however you want to say it, that I use just to kick around in. So I had kind of like retired these shoes and just used them basically to mow grass or go anytime I would go out to like the grocery store or something. I would wear these shoes, and they're ripped all to heck. And I don't even know how the uppers attach to the sole anymore, but I wore them on my run today, and they felt fine. And actually, my knee felt a little bit better. Not a whole lot, like not to where I think that it's just the shoes that are causing it, but it felt a little bit better. And if you're not familiar, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, the King MTs, they are a minimalist shoe. They got minimal cushioning, and I believe there's zero drop. The Olympus is a max cushion shoe. If you're familiar with Hoka or Hoka 11 or One One or however you say it, those are also max cushion shoes, and so the Ultra Olympus is kind of in the same category. It's got huge cushion on it, and I wore those type of shoes when I did the 100-mile ultra marathon. Do you have to wear those? No. I did. I don't know if they help me or if they hurt me, because they are kind of heavy and they do make your foot a little bit unstable. It's like wearing platforms to run in. So, results may vary. Be cautious. Not all that is cushioned is gold. But yeah, so I wore the King MTs today and they felt fine, even though they're all messed up and old and crappy. So, kind of similar to what I've been saying for the last couple of podcasts, especially with my contact that's doing an experiment with the Vibram Five Fingers, and another shoe. I think he's got some Merrells that are kind of like a barefoot type minimal cushion shoe that he's been running in. It may be better to run in those less cushiony shoes just because of the weight savings, and it could just be that nature has designed the perfect sole, and you don't need a bunch of cushioning. But I tell you what, the first time you kick a rock, even in a shoe, you're going to be wishing that you had like steel toes. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any steel toe running shoes. But I digress. So yeah, my knee hurts, and I've got some CBD. I have not taken it in a while, but I'm gonna try that. And then I've got some emu oil. I forgot the brand name, but it's kind of expensive. Both of those are kind of expensive. CBD oil and emu oil. I don't know if they're actually snake oil or if they work, but I'm gonna try to find out because my knee's been hurting. But one thing that was kind of concerning, and again, I forgot to make notes about this, but good thing I remembered. I had a cramp in my calf, and I just brushed it off as being a leg cramp because my watch has been telling me that my VO2 max has gone down. It went from like a 59 down to a 53, and I have not been getting as much running in as I would like to. I usually like to run every day, but since I started my new job in combined with school, uh, I hate to say it this way because it's such a cop out and an excuse, but I have not been running every day. I just have not had the time. And then also the weather has been like really horrible. It's been raining and there's even some lightning. I know I'm a wuss, but I actually did make it out to run yesterday in the rain, and I ran in the rain again today. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and hopefully 2021 will be a way better year, and I want to get way more hard and way more tough in 2021. I do want to run around the island of Hawaii, so I am hoping to get into picking up heavy things and putting them down, basically. Plus, a whole lot more running than I've been doing this year. I kind of, I did some, but I didn't do quite as much as I had planned on. So back to my point, I didn't know if maybe I'm just like out of shape and so my legs cramping, or if maybe I've been having too much caffeine, or maybe I'm dehydrated or whatever. I thought maybe I had a leg cramp, and so I looked, calf pain that won't go away. And one thing that came up, which I was aware of but didn't really think of it in this situation, but deep vein thrombosis. And I'm reading right off the Google search, but it occurs when a blood clot forms in one or more of the deep veins in your body, usually your legs. Deep vein thrombosis can cause leg pain or swelling, but can occur with no symptoms. And so the reason that I'm mentioning DVT is because it's 100% deadly. If the clot breaks off and gets into your lungs or maybe in your brain. It can occlude blood flow, thus occluding oxygen and killing brain tissue, heart tissue, lung tissue. So it can be deadly. I'm not a doctor, and you know what I have may not be DVT, but I just wanted to kind of make everyone aware that sometimes when you have a pain, you shouldn't just brush it off as, oh, it's just a cramp or, oh, I'm just out of shape or whatever. Like, you really need to seriously consider, I may have a clot, like, especially if you've been sitting for long periods of time, like on a airplane. Um, Yeah, if you've been sitting long periods of time, uh, because what happens is you start you get a little clot, and it kind of like attaches to the side of the blood vessel, and then like it gradually starts building, and then once the clot gets big enough or whatever, or it gets disrupted, it breaks off from the vessel wall and then starts traveling in your bloodstream. At that point, it's dangerous. And so when to see a doctor: if you develop signs or symptoms of deep vein thrombosis, contact your doctor. If you develop signs or symptoms of pulmonary embolism, which is a life-threatening complication of deep vein thrombosis, seek immediate medical attention. So those symptoms are: for deep vein thrombosis, the signs and symptoms can include swelling in the affected leg. Rarely there's swelling in both legs. Pain in your leg. The pain often starts in your calf and can feel like cramping or soreness. Red or discolored skin on the leg. A feeling of warmth in the affected leg. Deep vein thrombosis can occur without noticeable symptoms. I'm getting all this stuff off the mayoclinic.org website. Um, the warning signs and symptoms of a pulmonary embolism include sudden shortness of breath, chest pain or discomfort that worsens when you take a deep breath or when you cough, feeling lightheaded or dizzy or fainting, rapid pulse, or coughing up blood. Okay, I didn't have any of those. I am pretty sure that what I've got is a cramp, and probably caused by overuse and being dehydrated. Um, and so time will tell. But I just wanted to make everybody aware that this is a thing that can happen. Some people have blood clotting disorders, or they are sitting for long periods of time. If you had surgery, if you are pregnant, sometimes birth control pills, being overweight or obese, smoking, cancer, heart failure, IBS, family history of DVT, age, being older than 60 increases your risk. And then, like I said before, sitting for long periods of time, like when you're driving or flying, you remain still for hours, your calf muscles don't contract, so your blood's not circulating as much, and then blood clots can form. Okay, you can go to the emergency room, and they can give you anticoagulants, and you kind of just, your body absorbs the clot on its own. The only caveat is if you do get cut, you may bleed out, not be able to clot from the bleed. So, but anyway, I'm getting way too in the weeds. I just, it kind of was a reminder to me. I was aware of DVT, but I didn't think about it in my case until I did a little Google search, just for calf and pain in calf that won't go away, because I had this pain in my calf for a couple days, and so I just want to let everybody know about that. All right, I'm done scaring everybody. Onward to the next thing. I wanted to to send out a thank you, and I posted some things on Reddit today. If you go to r/a running thought, and that is with no G, just a running thought. That is the Running Thought podcast official Reddit page, and I posted some pictures up earlier today of a Patagonia sweater type jacket that I was sent, along with a sweet neck gaiter, Georgia Jewel neck gaiter, and that came from Jenny Baker and her family with the Georgia Jewel. And I got, if you scroll through those pictures, I got a sweet package that I can only imagine was put together by her children. And so the package kind of made it along with the handwritten note. And I was super pumped to get that jacket because I needed it. It's a little bit chilly. I know, don't punch me in the face, people that are in the Midwest right now. But it's actually been a little bit chilly in Hawaii. It usually is during the winter months. It rains a lot more, and it gets pretty cold at night and in the early morning. And then up at Volcano, it's a few degrees colder. Anyways, but yeah, so I was super pumped to get this jacket in the mail. Sends it USPS flat rate. Big shout out to United States Postal Service, because FedEx was going to charge like $90 to get it here, $14.95 with the United States Postal Service. And I got a sweet neck gaiter, which I actually wore today. So thank you, Jenny and Franklin Baker and your family, for the jacket, and then also for decorating that package. That kind of just made it extra special. And so I do appreciate it. I don't even want to like toss that package out. I want to keep it now. But at any rate, the neck gaiter actually came in handy today. I wanted to talk about that too. This is kind of, you could probably file this under common sense, but I have that neck gaiter that Jenny sent me, and then also I ordered a sample from the Runnin Thought Teespring store, because I wanted to I wanted to have a neck gaiter, but then also I wanted to know the quality of the item. It's a super high quality neck gaiter, the one from a Runnin Thought Teespring store, like super soft, super thick, almost too warm to wear in Hawaii. The last couple times that I've worn it, it's been kind of sunny days up in Volcano, and I wear it on the trail just so I can pull it over my face, so as not to be, rude or endanger people on the trail, during these COVID times. But it's almost a little too hot. It warms up those carotids. You get that hot blood going to the head. But it actually felt great today. I didn't have the one from the Runnin Thought Teespring store. I had the one that Jenny sent me, which is a little bit thinner material. But I tell you what, that's a good item just to keep in the vehicle, especially if you're going somewhere cold, because when you're starting off on a run, or if you're in a place that's cold enough through the entire duration of the run, it is nice to have your hot breath going all over your face and your neck, instead of being completely freezing cold. Because even for me up in Volcano today, I would imagine it was in the 50s or maybe 60s, or should I say the 60s, maybe 50s, probably more likely. But running up there today, it was a little bit chilly. I was in a t-shirt and shorts, and I had that neck gaiter on just to have it so I could pull over my face in case I saw somebody. But I tell you what, it was nice to have it and keep my face sort of heated and my neck and everything during that first portion of the run. And the Georgia Jewel one that was a little bit thinner material, it actually was nice enough to wear through the whole run. I almost had to take the one from the Runnin Thought Teespring one. I almost had to take it off because it's a nice thick material, and it's a little bit too hot to wear on a sunny day. But yeah, so neck gaiter is great for running on a cold day. That was my point to all that. In that same category, I've been trying to run with a mask when I run on Bayfront, especially if I'm in areas like right along Bayfront and in the park and everything, proximal to other people. But I was running yesterday and it was just oppressive. Like I couldn't even breathe, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like I couldn't breathe through my nostrils. I was having to breathe through my mouth, and so finally I just took that mask off. I'm sorry everybody, but I was gonna suffocate. I don't like to breathe through my mouth when I run anyway because it's just better to breathe through your nostrils in and out if you can. And I've explained that before, but it just, number one, it humidifies the air. Number two, it's a little bit more of a constricted space. And so I feel like you train a little bit better breathing in and out through your nose than you do just like gulping air through your mouth. If you're in helo, you're gonna suck up some insects too if you're breathing in and out through your mouth. Of course, the mask kind of prevents that, but I've noticed my VO2 max has gone way down since I've been running with the mask as well. So, that could be from the mask and actually the just not getting enough airflow. So, at this point, I'm torn between wearing a mask when I run or not. It's not like that big of a deal. I don't think in helo anybody would give me too much crap for running without one. But again, I just wanted to kind of like be respectful of other people that were down along Bayfront because I've seen some stuff posted on Reddit and around the internet where people are complaining about tourists coming in not wearing masks, congregating, and even locals not wearing masks, congregating, how dangerous it is. And so realizing the seriousness of COVID and not wanting to be part and parcel of the problem, I've been trying to wear the mask. But I mean, it was kind of oppressive, and it really depends on the type of mask that you're wearing. I've got the disposable one, the little thin paper one. Those are fine. The one that I had on yesterday that was actually like suffocating me to death, unfortunately, was one of the ones from the Runnin Thought store. And so if you have it on like normal, day-to-day stuff, it's fine. But for running, I don't recommend those particular masks. They're a little bit too the weave is a little bit too fine, and so your airflow not very great if you're running. But yeah, so anyways, I guess I'll move on to the next subject. But again, thank you, Jenny and family, Georgia Jewel. Great packaging, great sweater jacket. Neck gaiter is awesome for neck and face warmth in cold weather. I mean, I know that's kind of a doy, but I just thought I would bring it up. Let's see. I was in Volcano today running, as I mentioned, and as I have mentioned many times before. That's one of my favorite places to go. Today was kind of what do you call it? Like the old standby route. I was running. Where was I running? Where's my phone? I took a picture of the trailhead. I do believe it's a Crater Rim Trail, but I just want to be sure that I'm not being totally FOS. Yeah, Crater Rim Trail. And so I run Crater Rim Trail, the Thurston Lava Tubes, and then there's a little kind of evac road that goes past Thurston Lava Tubes. So I run that and the little spur that goes down to the highway. And so that's what I did today. That's just a real quick kind of like in and out, and it's proximal to the visitor center and the entrance exit. So I like to do that when I'm sort of pressed for time. Today was just kind of a rainy, very rainy day in Hilo, and then all the way up to Volcano. Actually, up on the trail, it wasn't so bad. It was still raining. It was very muddy conditions, and but it was, I had plenty of tree cover. It's kind of like in a little fern slash rainforest slash ohia forest. So the trees and the overgrowth kind of got a lot of the rain, but it was still pretty muddy and mucky. But I had fun. It was a good time. And it was just a quick way to get 6 trail miles in and then get back to the house relatively quickly. There were a lot of birds out, and I think I mentioned this before. The friendly bird that comes out all the time in the parking lot near Devastation Trail. I actually learned today from the back of the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park map that is a Kalij pheasant, spelled Kalij, pheasant. And I didn't see him today, but usually he'll run out. I think people have been feeding him. If you're feeding that bird, stop. You're not supposed to, and then it's not good for them either, because then they start relying on the humans, and I guess they forget. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now, but I guess they would rather just get stuff from humans, and they kind of don't forage for themselves. But anyway, you're not supposed to feed them. Don't feed those birds. But anyway, that bird comes up to me most days, but not today. But I saw plenty of other ones just like him all over the trail. They must like to come out when it's raining. I don't know why, but there's plenty of them out on the trail today. Again, I wore the King MTs. They felt great, even though they're old as the hills and worn out. But my other shoes, the Olympus, I actually got them soaking wet yesterday, and there's been no sunshine, so the shoes didn't dry out today before I went up to Volcano, so I just had to wear what was dry. Of course, like retrospect, and I knew this going in too, but I was soaking wet after my run today, so it really didn't make a difference. I could have just wore those wet ones right off the bat, but I don't know. There's just some, wet shoes are just not appealing. Even if the dry ones that you got on are going to be soaking wet in a few minutes, there's just something about it. You just don't want to start off in those wet shoes, or maybe you do, but I don't. I have an aversion to wet feet. I was gonna talk about, and I think I did talk about these a little bit, but I got some new soft flasks from Hydropack, and so I went a little crazy. I had been carrying, I think, 500 milliliter soft flasks, and decided to upgrade to 750 milliliter ones because they seem to be a little bit better construction. And then also they hold 750 milliliters. So I can carry one, and that's got plenty of fluid for like a nice, 6 mile, 7 mile run, whatever, probably even 10 miles, you'd be fine with 750 milliliters of scratch in there. I did find out though that with my Solomon vest, which Hydropack makes the 500 milliliter soft flask that I usually carry in my Solomon. I think it's like a 12 pack or 15 pack. What do they call it? I think it's called pack, 15 pack, or I forget, but they do by numbers, and that is kind of indicative of the number of pockets on the vest. I guess how expensive it is too. But so I usually carry those 500 milliliters in that vest. I tried to run, if you recall me talking about taking my friend to ride his bike down Chain of Creators Road while I ran out the evacuation route. That day I carried 2 of the 750 milliliters plus 500 milliliter pack in the back portion of my hydration vest. And I gotta say, like, those 750 milliliter bottles are a little unwieldy to be stuffing in the vest. They really bounce up and down, and they are best held in your hand. So what I have been doing is I've not been running like super long distances anyway, but I will just carry the 750 mil in one hand, and it actually works out great. I like that, but I definitely don't like carrying 2 of them in the vest. I think 500 milliliter is about the biggest one that will fit in the pockets that are designed to hold the soft flask. The 750 milliliter probably would fit, but it would be so awkward to have those in there, and then it would be super stretched for sure. But yeah, just if you're thinking about getting the 750 mil, I would go for it. The construction seems to be better. The design is much better than the one on the 500 milliliter flask that I had from a couple years back. But yeah, Bay by Hydro Pack. I like to carry one in my hand, and that's how I like to use those. I did buy 2, thinking that I would put them in the vest for longer runs, which I probably still will. I guess somehow have to figure something out. And when I do, I'll let you all know. But it was awkward. They were bouncing up and down and doing crazy stuff. So thinking about that made me think about something else. I always try to be at least a little bit helpful. So for anybody that's starting out that's never run like super long distances where they need to carry a pack with like provisions in it, fluids and food / nutrition, I wanted to let you know you can just go ahead and learn from my mistake and not go to the expense of buying this item. But thinking back to when I started running with packs, I started off with waist gear, so like a belt, right? Or a fanny pack type deal with like water bottles on the side. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, running with those was never optimal. So even with the smallest one where I would just have, like a little bit of drink powder or maybe like a Cliff Bar or something in there, they still bounce up and down. They still chafe your waist. They're just irritating. And then the bigger ones like bounce up and down on your waist and mess up your stride and your rhythm. So I'm just going to tell you, like, I highly recommend going with a vest type solution and not purchasing the waist type fanny pack, bottle holder type thing for running. They may be okay for hiking, but when you're running and you're oscillating or whatever, you're moving up and down that stupid waist gear moves up and down too. I have not used any other type of vest than Solomon. That doesn't mean that Solomon's the best, or that I think that Solomon's the best. It's just what I've used and I'm familiar with. And I can tell you from using those, they fit snugly and there's not a lot of up and down motion for the most part. Other than when you put those 750 ml bottles in the sides, and then it just gets crazy. I don't want to get like too graphic because I like to keep this to where, all audiences can appreciate, but it was the closest I've probably ever come to feeling like what a female feels like when they're running. Having those 750 ml bottles like stuffed in the sides of my my vest. Okay, it wasn't optimal. Like I actually ended up drinking most of those, not out of actual thirst, but just out of trying to get the fluid out of them so I wouldn't have to deal with them, not vibrating, but like shifting everywhere and like just up and down and crazy. But yeah, so no waist gear. Don't waste your money on that. Ha ha ha. Use them for hiking maybe, but not for running. Vests all the way. There's lots of good vest makers. When I run ultra events, I see all different kinds. So people wear, Nathan, Osprey. I've actually had Osprey in the past, and I like that pretty well. The Solomon was just kind of the most form-fitting and kind of feature-rich, I guess, like pockets and stuff like that. I kind of just started using those, and that was that. Yeah. So moving on. While I was up at Volcano today, I actually saw a book like a week or two ago that I was looking for gifts for family. And I had looked at this book and I put it back down. But I was interested in it for myself. I bought some other things instead. But then I've been thinking about this book ever since. And I actually went back and bought a copy for my dad. And then I bought a copy for me. But the name of the book is Explore the Geology of Kilauea Volcano. And that's by Richard Hazlitt. And Richard is from the Department of Geology at Pomona College in Claremont, California. And so this book, I have not read it yet, but it basically gives you the rundown on the geology of Kilauea Volcano. And so it explains all the different types of terminology, or not types of terminology, but it explains all the terminology, and then the different types of faults and rock formations, and it goes into great detail. And so I'm super interested to read all about this because, quite honestly, I don't know anything about volcanoes or the terrain that I walk on every day, and so I think it's about time that I sat down with a book and learned something. I got a friend that's a geologist for USGS, and so this may actually help me have more educated conversations with him. Time will tell. But yeah, it's an interesting looking book, and I'm super excited to dig into it. But again, that's Explore the Geology of Kilauea Volcano by Richard Hazlitt from the Department of Geology, Pomona College, Claremont, California. And I'll let you know as I find interesting tidbits in that book. I'll include those on the podcast because it's super relevant. Yeah, so if anybody cares, after the run today, I had steak and asparagus And again, I kind of washed it down with a couple of New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPAs. Kids, don't drink alcohol, for adults only. But no one cares. But I just thought I would include that. I was just hankering for a steak and a little bit of beer. So I don't drink that much, but today I wanted one. So there you go. An interesting thing has come up. I was contacted by one of my friends, and they suggested that we start a petition / website / movement to make Hilo watershed area, aka Narnia, make that a state park. And so I think currently that area is closed off to the general public. I believe it's open to hunters. But other than that, you're not supposed to actually be up there. Wouldn't it be nice if they would open it up and you could go enjoy the waterfalls? You probably, with it being a state park, would not be able to get into the river anymore legally. But I think people have been getting in the river illegally for a long, long time. But to have that area open again would be such a great thing, because it's one of the best areas, in my opinion, without leaving Hilo proper, to do trail running and to get a nice workout. Running 7 miles on those trails that are back in there, actually they're roads, they're not really trails, but those roads that lead up to the top of that watershed area, that's a great elevation gain. And then you get to practice, coming down elevation, which is actually tougher on your body than it may sound or may seem. And so you need actually both of those types of training, up and down, to work on your quads and then work on your calves going up. Quads going down, calves going up. But that's a great area, and I sorely miss it being open. I try not to go places where, there's kapu signs or things are closed off. Like I try to, stay within the confines of what is legal, and I know some people don't, and nothing seems to ever happen, and I hope that nothing ever does. I don't wish like tickets or injury or anything like that on anybody, but just as for me, I can't afford a huge ticket. As much as I would love to go and run around that area, I was going like every single day. Once they put the sign up, I just kind of quit. Maybe I'm a wuss, but I just, I tend to respect signage. I know that there have been a lot of injuries, and I had seen quite a few ne'er-do-wells up in the area, so they may be trying to kind of curtail or rein in some of that activity too. I know they do studies on the hoary bats in that area, so that could be a reason that they blocked it off too. I'm not sure, but at any rate, it would be nice if they would open it up and make it a state park so that you could go all the way to the top, like running. I think, running up and down, you're not really hurting anything per se. There's already a road that exists there. It's not like a well maintained road. It's kind of just the terrain, and wherever the vehicles have gone over it, no grass grows. But it's not like a paved thing. It's gravel in some places. So it's not like smooth or whatever. I forgot what my point was in all this, but but it's nice to run on because it's just like running on, trail, but it's like way wider and you can get a good, I think it is 4 miles to the top, 4 miles to kind of like the first top. And then I think you can make it into 6 or 7 if you go all the way to the top to where the road ends. And so it's just a really good, it's got a nice distance to do like a out and back, whether you're just going to like the first dam or whether you're going to the top. Um, and plus it's next to waterfalls. So, truth be told, I did jump in that river a couple times on a hot day. It's super nice to jump in there. The only problem with that river is that if it's if it's raining uphill, there's always a risk of flash flooding. And so that, coupled with people jumping off of the rock ledges, like the cliffs, into the river, and then the river bed, I guess, being full of holes like lava tubes. Some of the tubes are entrance only, so there is a possibility that people can be stuck in those lava tubes. This is my understanding. I believe this to be true, but I know that they pulled some bodies out of the river within the past 5 years for sure. But I've seen how much that thing overflows when the hurricane passed by Kona side a couple of years ago. I was actually up near the river a couple of days afterwards, and the amount of wash on both sides of the shore, it just took out everything. All the vegetation, all the trees were gone. It was just down to bare rock, and I mean it was up maybe like 25 feet from the normal water line, just all along the banks with nothing but bare rock. So it's powerful and deadly. And then even on a nice day, if it's raining upslope, there's still a lot of danger with being in that river. It's not an area that you can easily exit. And so that too may be why they've closed it off. I'm not sure. And so I definitely want to be respectful of everybody in this, but I would love to have that area open again, at least the road, to be able to run up and down. I know that's kind of selfish, but I honestly like running up and down there. I'd never left, trash or anything. I was just out there on the trail. I didn't like deviate. Not really taking anything away. I did jump in the river a couple times just to cool off, but no permanent damage or trash or anything. So I think as long as it's respectful, it would be nice to have people be able to enjoy that area. A lot of waterfalls, I think, are on private land or closed off to the public. So anyways, that's a thought. We're thinking about trying to get a petition going. So if you're interested in that, make note of it on the Reddit page. That's r/a running thought, no G, a running thought on Reddit, and let us know. I think that's about all I have for this week. I don't have anything else jotted down. I'm still looking for people to interact with, so if you want to be on the podcast, I would love to have you on the podcast. Just get in touch with me through Reddit or through my other website, thedynamicclient.com. That's got my phone number and my email address. You can contact me that way too. But probably Reddit would be just fine. Would love to have runners of any ability be on, and let's just shoot the what just talk story, as it were. We don't have to necessarily talk all about running. It could be about anything. But yeah, it would be way more interesting to have this podcast with other people besides me talking, for sure. And I would love to have the company and get to learn more about why other people started running, why they continue to run, how tips and useful things that would not only benefit me but benefit everybody that's listening. So if you want to be on, I would love to have you on and converse with you. I know COVID's kind of a limitation right now, so I totally understand. But anytime in the future, if you're interested, get in touch with me now, because that would keep my hopes up. So that's always good. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Kind of in the same vein of keeping things interesting and useful. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that if I'm really good, I'll get a GoPro for Christmas. And I used to have a GoPro, but unfortunately it died. But hopefully I'll get another one, and I'll be able to take it out. I don't take my cell phone out so much right now, because whoever broke in my truck, they stole my cell phone bag, and I've not been able to find another waterproof bag for my cell phone. And then too, I use my cell phone for work related stuff. So in order to get tokens to log into my computer and all that stuff, I have to use my cell phone. So if that breaks, I'm in so much trouble. I have to get another phone immediately to even be able to do my job. So there's that part too. But I don't know why I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. So I don't carry my cell phone as much. And plus I've been doing shorter runs. So I haven't really needed to carry my cell phone. On on longer runs, I would recommend always carrying a communication device. And I personally always carry my cell phone on longer runs. That's part of the reason I haven't done longer ones, because I don't have the bag, and I just need to sit down and order one off of Amazon, I guess. But yeah. So hopefully I'll get the GoPro, and then my goal is to it's started raining, so you probably hear that pretty loud in the background, but it's okay, I'm almost done. I'm hoping to get out on the trails and do some videos and post those up so that people can see where to go and what to expect on some different running trails around the Volcanoes National Park, and then just around Big Island in general. And I'm hoping to make that a process of discovery, even for me. Maybe explore some new places and get those posted up. But yeah, so that's all I got for now. I think we're just over an hour into this, and hopefully I'll be back within the next week to talk to you all again. But for everybody listening, thank you. I do appreciate all of you that are listening, and I'm hoping to get more guests and have more exciting things on the podcast in the future. Everybody hang in there. It looks like vaccines are rolling out, and I don't know, maybe this 2021 will be way better year than 2020 has been. But just keep hanging in there. Take care. Get out on the trail. Do some running. And stay tuned. I'll be back in the next week, hopefully. Thanks for listening.